Yeah, I mean, my channel really started as a cryptocurrency channel. I was very interested in Austrian economics. When Bitcoin came along, it seemed like alternative money could be a tool for freedom. I really liked this separation of money and state and the idea that you might be able to have an alternative money that couldn't be shut down. We've seen alternative monies, exist throughout history, and governments, if there's a choke point, don't like competition. They're thoroughly debasing the currency all the time. And so, if something alternative comes along, it tends to be shut down pretty quickly. This was a decentralized infrastructure that I found super interesting. So I started out focused on decentralized tech, this idea that what if we could have tech that didn't have choke points that could be targeted? Because we're seeing more and more censorship. It's not just like financial control. It's actual like censorship and, shutting down like gatekeeping sites, all that kind of stuff. So I got really interested in decentralized tech. But then I realized, and for me, it was kind of like the holy grail. I was thinking, well, decentralized tech will save us. That's all we need. And I soon realized that like, if we don't know how to use the decentralized tech privately, if the government bans the tech, sure, the protocol itself might be like uncensorable or, censorship resistant. But if they know you're using it, they'll just target you. They'll just go after individuals. And so I realized, like, if we don't know how to use the internet privately, all this amazing decentralized technology that was being built with Web 3.0 wouldn't be accessible to anyone. We wouldn't be able to take advantage of it. And so I wanted to see kind of this underground railroad of all this uncensorable technology be built out. And in order for us to actually make sure we could access it into the future, privacy became a super big focus of mine. When I made that pivot and I was like, oh my God, they just target the individuals. It kind of started out as a thought experiment. And this was years and years and years and years ago at this stage. But it kind of started out like, if I needed to use the internet privately, could I? I don't need to. I have nothing to hide. I'm a normal person. And so then I just started kind of diving into it. I was like, okay, if I needed to access this privately, could I? And the more I dove in, I was like, wow, the surveillance state is incredibly, it's pervasive. It's in everything we do. And opting out isn't as simple as like toggling a user function. And so I've been in that rabbit hole for years and years at this stage. Now I have a 501c3 dedicated to this because it became clear that this is an incredibly hard issue. No one is doing the work. The people who are building the tools are getting no support. And this idea that, I'll just explore privacy when I need it isn't going to cut it, because privacy could be outlawed by the time that comes around. In fact, it almost surely will be. They're already arresting privacy developers. I think today they just changed the Clarity Act to remove any protections for people building decentralized tech. Before it was built in to say, we won't go after people building decentralized softwares like a money transmitter. They removed that. Politics isn't going to save us, as far as I can see, if we just leave it to the people who are currently doing the politics stuff. So we kind of need to fight the battle on all fronts at this stage and double down.
Yeah, one quick thing. There's a lot to unpack there, and I know you have limited time. So normally, I think I took notes, and I would normally double down on a lot of things you covered. But the one thing I do want to touch on is, I think, and you kind of allude to this, that people in a decentralized world just assume because something is decentralized, it means it comes along with privacy. So do you mind just quickly touching on that misconception and how you see it and why that is maybe not always the case?
Oh, yeah. I would say it's rarely the case, actually. And you take Bitcoin as an example. In Bitcoin's early years, and I was, a victim to this mentality as well at the time, there was this idea that because it's pseudonymous, all you had to do was just not link your real world identity and you could remain private. And people don't understand how many touch points link your real world identity. It's almost impossible to not link your real world identity. The only question is someone going to come looking? And that's not a robust safety strategy. You're just hoping someone doesn't want to, de-anonymize you. And so, decentralized tech, it's only in really the recent years that I've seen a bit of a pivot and people start to really focus on this as the priority that it should be. Again, we're so focused on the decentralized infrastructure of something. If there's no choke point, we can't stop the system. And that's true. You can't stop the system. You can target individuals everywhere, and a system can keep running. I mean, you can throw the developers in jail. The system will keep running. But individuals will not have the freedom to use that system safely if they don't know how to use the internet privately. And that is the big difference that people are just not thinking about. They're just thinking about availability as enough. Like as long as it's available, that's all I need. No, you need to protect yourself from those who don't want you using these things. So, I see a lot of really bad privacy leakage in the Web3 world. I'm seeing definitely a change in mindset now as more and more people are focused on fixing that. Like there was a great thread today based on a video that came out recently about the Kahaku wallet. So like the entire kind of Ethereum community is jumping on board and explaining all the touch points where you're just leaking privacy all the time. So definitely an interesting change of pace now. It's just a question of, okay, now that people are interested, can we ramp up fast enough to actually make up for lost time? Because the surveillance state has been expanding so quickly. Privacy tech has not kept up. So now that people are starting to wake up, can we hit the ground running and actually try to make a dent?